What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Still Victory Monday. Still having a good time. Still happy. And we got some Seahawks news from McDonald this morning. And I do want to emphasize some because there wasn't really a lot. And there wasn't as much as I was hoping for. I was hoping that we might get some kind of an update on Michael Dickson, just as an example. Some word on whether or not he's going to be able to play this upcoming week, some word on his availability to punt, because that's kind of a big deal. But I didn't hear anything, so I guess we just have to wait and see. In fairness, they probably don't know themselves, so we'll let it play out. But yeah, nothing on Michael Dickson, so let's talk about the little bit that we do have to talk about today. And in terms of what McDonald passed along, really the only update we got was concerning Uchenna Nwosu. Now, that's a big one, so that's cool. But while McDonald did indicate that Nwosu's return is imminent, he also kind of threw a little water on the idea of him coming back for the Cardinals game. He did say that he will be ready to play sooner than later, and he might be able to play against the Cardinals. He called it an outside chance, according to Brady Henderson here. But he didn't sound super optimistic, and if I had to bet on it, I'd say he will not play. He's still on injured reserve. He did return to practice last week, but he has not been pulled off injured reserve yet. We still have like 2 weeks before he has to either get activated or be declared out for the year. So, plenty of time. But I'm not getting the sense that Nwosu's going to be ready for the Cardinals game, which the kind of it's kind of unfortunate how this is working out, admittedly, because the Cardinals game is the game we really need to win. If we win that Cardinals game, we pretty much put Arizona in the rear view mirror, and we don't have to worry about them so much because we'll have swept them and we'll have a non-trivial lead in the division over them. So at that point, when it comes to thinking about winning the division, you wouldn't really have to think about Arizona anymore. So that game is very important because if Arizona wins, it feels like things flip. Because we've been over this. Arizona's schedule after the Seahawks game is pretty favorable. They could win all those games that they play the rest of the year after the Seattle game without it stretching the imagination all that much. So we need to win that game so we have margin for error to lose to the Packers and possibly the Vikings as well. So having it break like this is a little bit unfortunate because it looks like he's going to be back for that 2-game gauntlet against the Vikings and Packers, where, look, you can definitely make an argument that, hey, we need to win one of those 2 games, so it's good that we're getting Nwosu back for those games, but how much of an impact is he going to be able to have at that point? Is it going to be a minimal impact? I'm sure it'll be something. He's better than nothing. He's probably still going to be a more effective all-around player than a guy like Dre'Mont Jones, who is a pretty big liability in run defense. Nwosu will probably offer an improvement over that. But at the same time, it's like, I'd rather have him for the Arizona game, the game that we really need to win. Because if you win that game, you can maybe afford to lose one or even both of those Vikings-Packers games. So I need him this weekend. I don't know if I need him the next 2 weekends where, I mean, I've kind of been a little bit of I've been bearish on the Vikings, but they're clearly good. They've clearly figured out something that works really well. And the Packers are on a little bit of a roll, so, I'm being realistic about things. I wish Nwosu would be back for that game, not coming back for the Vikings and Packers, 2 games where he may not be able to help that much. But the important thing is, either way, whether he's back this week or next week or even the week after, he will be back for the most important game of the year, which is Week 18 against the Rams. That is probably the game that will decide it all, and we're going to need all hands on deck, and we're going to need players to be able to play well. So the fact that Nwosu will probably be able to play in a couple games at least before that Rams game is great. But that was a given. I was really hoping he'd be back for Arizona because I feel like that little extra push that he offers could tilt that game. I'm not sure it can tilt the game against the Vikings or Packers. We'll see. And again, I'm not completely buying what the Vikings are selling, so I'm going to be open to interesting things happening. So that's the main news that we got today. Just Nwosu, outside chance of playing against the Cardinals. Gonna happen soon. We did get a we did get a Pro Bowl voting update. So for those of you who care about the Pro Bowl, this is kind of fun. We have 2 players among the top 10 in their position in terms of Pro Bowl voting as of this morning. Julian Love and Laviska Shenault Jr. Now, Julian Love, he's played well. I'm not begrudging him his Pro Bowl berth. But where is Leonard Williams, man? You can't tell me that Julian Love deserves the Pro Bowl more than Leonard Williams. Like, where's even somebody like JSN? And maybe in the NFC, no, but he should be here. Like, we're talking about the top 10, right? And Charles Cross, maybe? Like, I don't know. Julian Love being the one, like, positional Seahawks player who's currently in the Pro Bowl. We got to get on this, people. We got to start voting in the Pro Bowl. We got to fix this, because Leonard Williams, the way he's played, should probably win MVP. So we got to at least get him in the Pro Bowl. And the other guy, Shenault, is doing it as a return man, which is very funny because, yeah, this is the other thing I wanted to talk about in this video. As of just a couple minutes before I started shooting this video, Laviska Shenault Jr. is not a Seahawk anymore. He has been waived. Maybe he gets put on the practice squad. Either way, he's clearly not part of the plans going forward. And look, kick returner, you can't fumble twice in one game and expect to keep your job, I guess, so I'm not against it. At the same time, though, he's not even the return man that I most want to see off this team today. So at least Shenault had a return touchdown. At least he had some good returns. At least he provided a little bit of a special something on the offensive side of the ball that the other return guy does not in any way, shape, or form on either side of the ball. So I'm not against it. Like, after the second fumble, when Shenault came off the field, he looked like 20 concussions worth of CTE had crashed into him all at once. That's how out of it he looked. He looked like a guy who did not want to be there. So I can't really say anything negative about releasing him. We got to get somebody else back there, and I think that at a certain point you just pass the line. And passing and fumbling twice in one game is passing the line. Now, again, there's another return guy on this team who I think needs to go even more, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Sad the Shenault thing didn't work. I really thought he was going to add something to the team this year, and he kind of did. He had a kick return touchdown. He did do a couple of fun things on offense, but never really worked out the way we were hoping. And it's over now. So happy trails, Laviska Shenault. After yesterday's game, I guess you deserve it. But I'll always remember your kick return against San Fran. All right. So we'll see what else happens later today. That's probably it, if we're being honest. I don't think we'd save a roster move for the end of the day. But, yeah, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think. That's the latest and greatest. More videos coming later.